It's Kevin. Welcome to Relationship Ready. Thanks for coming. Today, we're going to talk about eustress, de-stress. We all stress. Talk about stress. We all got it. You got it right now. You've had it before. You'll have it again. How do we manage it? How do we handle it? And how does it affect our lives, our relationships, and where we go from here? So take a moment. What's the thing that's adding the most stress to your life right now? Is it something from outside of you? Person, place? Thing you got to get done? Or is it something in you? Your brain rushing, you're talking to yourself, your emotions overtaken. There's something that's adding stress to you. There's lots of kinds of stress. So we're going to define some of those today. Then we're going to talk about how to manage them, because they affect all of us. So join with me in that. All right, so I'm going to start with one that I've always talked about, but I never really knew the word for until recently. And that's eustress. E-U-S-T-R-E-S-S. What's the definition of that? That's the good stress. That's the motivating stress. That's the excitement and the anticipation of the adrenaline going in something that's positive and that you might enjoy. It might be that anticipation of going up of the roller coaster ride before you go plunging down. And it's the excitement and catharsis of going down that hill. It might be when you are anticipating that first date, or that getting out of work so you can go out and have fun, or seeing your kid, whatever relationship you're in, of looking forward to. That's the good stress of the, I'm looking forward to that, the adrenaline's pumping. And then there's distress. Distress is the negative stress. It's the destructive stress. It's the stuff that we tell ourselves and add to our stress, as well as the external circumstances that are around us. That on those, if you see those scales, and you can look up all over the internet, of the 100 most stressful situations, and you can rate yourself on those too. See how much stress that you have. It's the life events that affect your stress, which are mixed with good stress and bad stress, because we've all got it. But the bad stress is the stuff that losing people, being hurt, aggression, being catcalled, the anticipation of that. It's all the negative stuff that you're like, I don't want to deal with this. It's going home to your partner that you already had a fight with, that you're like, I don't want to continue this fight when I get home, and now I'm thinking about it and anticipating and stressing that. That's distress. So how do we de-stress? Well, part of it's being aware of the stress that we're walking into and that we're walking around with. So take a moment. How much of your stress right now that you're feeling, how much of that is distress, the negatives, and eustress, the positives? I've got mostly positive stress right now. I'm looking forward to the end of this. I'm enjoying the people that I'm going to be seeing in the next couple hours. I'm looking forward to them. And I'm looking forward to laughing too. And that's stress and anticipation of that. But it's good stress. The negative stress, arguments, demands of children, those kind of stuff. That's distress that I've got going on right now. So being aware of it, that's the first step. The more you can be aware in the moment, the better off you're going to be. Because it's hard to be aware in the moment. But it's a good thing to be able to do. So once you're aware of it, how do we handle it? Well, stress comes with emotions. So what emotions are you feeling with it? Are you feeling excited with the good stress? Are you feeling nervous? Could be good stress, could be distress. Eustress, distress, nervousness, anxiety, anticipation. Being aware of what those emotions are. And then emotions are not logical. So what's the thought that comes with it? Because that's your brain going, there's a good thing, there's a bad thing. It's a judgment call that you're making. Your brain can turn good stress into pretty bad stress. And for some of us, that happens all the time. For others, we can turn that bad stress into the good stress. And that's part of the skill. is being able to go, why is it good that I'm looking forward to this thing? There's demands of my children, but if I can turn that around into, I've chosen to be able to help support them in their demands so they can achieve beyond what I want to do, which is every parent's dream. Then I can turn that distress into eustress. Somewhat with logic, somewhat with talk, but it's a balance of both the emotions and the logic. It's being able to feel it and figure out what to do with it. So the more practice you get at it, the better. The more input you get, as long as you don't get caught up in the details and do something about it, the better off you are. So, what are we talking about today? Take a moment. Figure out what your eustress is, what your eustress is. Maybe list it out, put it in your phone. Maybe be grateful for some of the positive stress that you've got in your life. That might be nice. Identify the distress, the factors that are there. A lot of times our distress are things we're anticipating happening in the future, or things that happened in the past because we don't live in the present. So being aware of that, because that's the things that help us de-stress. Because in each moment is not usually as stressful as we might think it can be. Because each moment, we're generally okay. But we forget that because we anticipate and we look back. So, where'd you start? How stressed were you when we started this conversation? Did you identify some of the things that were in there for you? How do you want to handle it? It's going back to the coping skills. We'll talk more about each of the coping skills as we go along too. But coping skills are everything you do to manage. So what are you going to do about it? You pick some coping skills. Try to be aware of what your emotions might be. Try to figure out what your own logic is. What does your brain tell you and what does it want to tell you? How do you turn your distress into eustress? That'll get you to de-stress. Take a moment and breathe. Thanks for breathing with me. Thanks for watching. Come on back next time for more Relationship Ready.